My name is Brandon Bailey. I'm an LMSW, that's a licensed master social worker, and I work as a therapist. And I've been doing that for about a little over 4 years. I see a variety of marriages in my work. Often get those cases where people come in and they're in crisis. There's been an affair. They're contemplating divorce, contemplating separation. And then I see everything in between, from people who are just really just wanting to improve the quality of their marriage because maybe they've kind of hit a plateau in their relationship and they feel stuck. So everything in between. Working with those couples in crisis initially was kind of shocking. I remember my first case with a married couple with adultery, and it was really kind of a worst case scenario. And I remember being rather shocked. And very much felt the burden of responsibility of helping them through that time. I think one case that comes to mind is having a couple that, they had been coming in for a while, but they'd kind of hit a point where I really felt like they were on the verge of divorce. In fact, the wife, filed for divorce. But there was this sense of, wow, this could turn at any minute. And so really felt that pressure to try to give them what they need, try to help them through that, try to help them to know, like, you can work through this, you can reconcile. And as a mental health therapist, my schedule, typically I see people every 2 weeks at best. Sometimes there's openings where I can see people weekly, and that's great. But still, that's a 45-minute session every week or every 2 to 3 weeks. And some couples just are on that verge of decision, and they need intervention fast, and they need something more intensive. When I first heard about Marriage Helper, it was actually from a couple that I was counseling who had been to Marriage Helper previously, and they referenced it and told me about it. They had great things to say about it, had a good experience with it, and I was able to then, for myself, go and check out the website, and I actually started using some of the articles on the website, some of the resources, to print off and give to couples facing various things. And then I had my first couple that came in, which was similar to the situation I described earlier, where it was too much going on, too fast, and they needed a turnaround. And they were the first couple that I referred to Marriage Helper, and they had a great experience. Things turned for them, and they're doing well. So here's why I refer couples to Marriage Helper. First of all, I've been there. I went and observed one of their turnaround weekends, all day Friday, all day Saturday, all day Sunday, and have met the staff, met the people who are part of it. I've seen their heart for marriages, and I've seen the workshop firsthand. I feel confident in the staff, in Dr. Beam and everyone there, and I feel confident in their materials. They have combed through an uncanny amount of research about marriages, and I feel like what they're providing is empirically based. They're trying to pull out the best of, there's a lot of marriage materials out there, and they're trying to pull out the best. And so I feel confident in what they're providing to people. I really do like how Marriage Helper uses empirical research and empirically based interventions. And one of those are some assessments that they do with the clients. And I find that the couples come back knowing a lot more about themselves, which is very important, but then also a lot about their spouse. So they do some personality inventories is one of the things, and it's just very insightful for people to understand, this is why I think the way I do, and this is why my spouse thinks the way she does. If they can understand each other, then it cuts down on a lot of conflict, a lot of misunderstanding, miscommunication. So I think that's extremely valuable. Here's what I would say to other professionals who are looking to refer clients to Marriage Helper. When you look at being a generalist practitioner, and many of us are in the profession, we want to be able to cover a wide array of topics and issues with our clients. But then there's times when situations arise where really a specialist is needed. To me, Marriage Helper is that specialist for marriage. I feel like they have really just honed in on that topic specifically. They've done the research. They've had years and years of experience with it. They've seen what works with clients and what doesn't work. So for me, that's a way to really jumpstart their treatment, to really make a turnaround in their treatment potentially, and really supports what I'm doing with that couple. So the Marriage Helper turnaround weekend is a very intensive weekend where clients are going to get a lot of information and a lot of processing and a lot of experience all in one weekend. Essentially, they can cover enough material that would equal probably a couple months of counseling. It really kind of ignites a desire for change in clients. And so when they come back from that, the way it works with counseling is the counseling can be that follow-up thing where we're helping them to apply what they've learned at the workshop. Because we all know, like, you can go in and you can learn a lot of information and be really inspired in the moment, but it's really where the rubber meets the road is whenever they get home, back to the daily grind, and they have to figure out, how do we make this play out in our daily lives? And so to me, that's where counseling as a follow-up will help them to, be in it for that long haul. But they often just need that turnaround at the start. Whenever I refer clients to Marriage Helper, I want to help them to know what to expect. So often they don't really know what to expect, and that can create a lot of anxiety. From my observation, when I've been there, it was a very fun weekend. I mean, there's a lot of laughter, which helps to ease people's tension, and that's not just at the beginning too; it's the whole way through. So couples really genuinely have a good experience together, and the focus is that although we're in a group of a lot of couples from around the country, that each couple they're in that event with their spouse. So this is a shared experience between them, and often there's a offending spouse who may have had an affair, and they can be probably the most have to be the most anxious about going to something like this. But from what I saw, Marriage Helper really helps to address that. They don't beat around the bush with that. They say right at the beginning, look, we're not here to beat you over the head, make you feel bad about what you've done. We're not here to try to coerce you into staying. We're just here to present good information about marriage and how to make it work if you so decide to do that. And to me, that really took some of the pressure off of those people, which is necessary if they're going to receive anything out of it. So I let people know that this is the nature of it. You don't have to be apprehensive about it, but you decide ultimately how you're going to go forward. To sum it up, I would say that there's just really great potential for these couples that seem to be on the brink of disaster to turn things around in one weekend.